All right, let's talk about some of the statues that have been being torn down, and let's talk about maybe a different perspective. You know, what scares me is James Cook was the recent one. James Cook was an explorer. He actually never was, his mindset probably wasn't conquest. He actually named animals. He'd been to Australia, he discovered Hawaii. He was the guy in the Cook Islands, and he discovered much of the west coast of North America. You know, it was because he was an explorer that we put his statue up. We remembered that area of him. And you know, when we tear something down because there was something not right in his time, we have to remember during cultural times, a lot of bad things happened. Think of Germany in World War II. There were incredible tragedies that the German people experienced, and there were bad mindsets that exist. Do we wipe out a nation? No, we need to learn from our experiences as humanity. So to tear a statue down and for us in our generation to make a judgment, we don't know all of the things that Cook went through. We don't know all of his successes, you know, and we don't even know if he was so racist. We don't know all of that. But then we take the man, and maybe we don't understand the time, and then we destroy it. So let's connect it to another area. You know, you grew up in a family, I grew up in a family. There are things in my parents that probably weren't the best. And I could point them out, and I could talk about it, and I could justify why I am the way I am, or I could discredit them in ways. It's not beneficial. I remember the good things in my parents. You know, my parents did incredible things, and that actually bonds and connects us generationally. And then my kids, they inherit some of that goodness that gets passed down. You know, if we focus on the bad and we tear things down and we don't focus on the good, we're going to curse ourselves as a society because we'll break the lineage where we can learn. And so some of the things that have gone on around racism, there are incredibly painful moments in our history in our nation. Totally painful. But to throw everything out of the bush, throw everything under the bus, and then to blame certain individuals from the past, listen, our responsibility is to find out what we can do in the present. You know, every generation lives in a society and there are things going around. We don't understand all that's going on right now. And yet there were good and there's going to be struggles, just like there is today. So here's the encouragement. Find ways to actually learn from our past. Find ways to make memorials that are going to be good for the learning rather than us getting hooked into the pain of the past. And the only way to do that is to be present in the moment and to learn and to hear one another and to care for one another. It might be a different perspective, but I just think we need to hear that. Because you know what? If there's going to be mobs and they're going to tear down statues, I don't know if they're thinking clear. And I don't know if they're learning well. And it's going to put us as a society at risk. So thanks for listening. Take care.